So JP, I might hand over to you to read out today's tech help and our Q&A.
Yeah, of course. So we have a few questions that came in over the last week. The first question is, I have an Aircom email address which I'm paying for, but I'd like to explore other options. And what can you recommend? So although a lot of people have the old Aircom address set up years ago, maybe someone's thinking about switching over to having another email address. Now I know we featured an article on this in a recent technology newsletter. Joe, you might be able to give some advice.
Yeah. Yeah, as people know, in the past year, Aircom have started charging people to use their email service. I suppose in the early days, it was one of the email services that were out there that everybody started to use. So there's people out there with email addresses now for 20 years, and they still have the Aircom one. And I suppose it's difficult to change in your mind. I suppose it's hard to get used to the idea of changing your email address, but there is no need to be paying $5.99 a month for an email service that is probably I won't say anything about standards or anything like that. It is okay, it does the job, but I mean there is free services out there that are better or that have more options. You know, they actually specialize in email. You know, so you have gmail.com, which would be probably number one out there, preferred option. And also what used to be hotmail.com is now outlook.com. You could set up an email address with both of those services, and they are very easy to set up. You just go to the selected provider and you click create account, and it'll ask you to put a password in and a few more details. You can also set up two-factor authentication. It'll make it more secure, and it's easy enough to set up on your email clients like Outlook or Apple Mail, things like that. When I say easy, I mean it might be easy for some, but if you do need some assistance with it, you can also contact Labs and we'll help you fill in the POP3 server connections settings to help you set it up in Outlook or Apple Mail, things like that. So there, once it's done once, it'll work from then on with on your phone or your Outlook client. But yeah, I think Gmail or Outlook.com would be your best option. And
I think, just to say as well, Joe, I think paying that amount of money for an email address is completely unnecessary. You know,
yeah,
so yeah, particularly when someone might be just used to the accessibility features of, let's say, their Aircom account, or maybe they're used to Outlook. Like, we can help them to set it up so it would be just as easy and free.
Yeah, like there was they followed on from other companies. They obviously don't want to specialize in email, like BT done the same in Britain, and TalkTalk, they all started charging. So they're trying to, I suppose, remove people from using their email, and then it's probably working as obviously a lot of people have jump shipped and started to use Gmail and Outlook. And then there's people out there that have lost their email address and lost lots of valuable emails because maybe they just didn't do their move in time, and that's the way it's happened. Anyway, that's the whole situation in a nutshell. But I think Outlook and Gmail are probably your best option out there.
I think the Gmail is probably the best option, because if you have an Android phone, it becomes your Google account as well on your Android phone. And the beauty of it is, nobody likes changing their email address, but everybody likes changing their phone. And the key to remember is, keep using the one Google account as you move up through your phones throughout the years. You'll keep your email, but in addition, you can set the options there that it brings your contacts across, and you can bring so much more data along with it. Because while Gmail is probably the first thing that you think of, but it's actually become more over recent years. It's become a Google account, so it takes care of lots more things. You have your Google Photos, everything is just tied to that one account now. So email is actually just kind of a little token of it, where there's so much more going on with that account and that address as well. So from that point of view, the Gmail, yeah, it's definitely very, very powerful.
That's a good point, Daniel. Yeah.
Great. Okay, that's great. Thanks, Joe. There's another question that came in from someone who owns an Amazon Echo. He or she is saying, I use my Echo to listen to audiobooks and for meditation, and I don't want to be disturbed with notifications. is there a way of turning off notifications temporarily while I'm listening to audiobooks or meditating?
Yeah, well, that's a good point there. As if you use your Echo a lot, there is a possibility you get a lot of notifications because you might have enabled drop-in feature or announcements. You can also receive calls on your Echo now from other Echo users, and you can receive text messages. But you can turn these off for a period of time by just saying, Alexa, turn on Do Not Disturb for 1 hour.
I won't disturb you.
So, and that'll come back. It'll come back to its normal self after 1 hour. And if you're finished doing your task that you didn't want to be disturbed at, or you can also just repeat the same question. You can turn off Do Not Disturb, just to turn it off. So that's the simple way of doing it. It's very easy. You just have to ask Alexa.
It's a pity that doesn't work on kids, Joe.
Yeah, major pity. The only peace I get at night is at night time now, Daniel. When you put them to bed.
So, and also, I think, Joe, I have to say, fair play to you for doing that live.
Yeah. Everybody's gone in Do Not Disturb now, so they won't be disturbed listening to the podcast or the live event.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
Very good. That's great. Great tip. Last question that came in was, how can I turn on Windows startup sounds so I know that Windows is loaded and ready? So this could be particularly helpful for someone who's using a screen reader to have this enabled, just so that they know Windows is ready after turning on the computer. Now, I know to enable this, we can just go into the sound settings. So we can go into the control panel and to hardware and sound, and then there's a tab, it's a sounds tab we need to go to, and there's a checkbox there which may be unchecked if you're not hearing the Windows startup sounds. We have to check that checkbox, and it's the description is play Windows startup sounds. And once that checkbox is checked, then we should be able to hear the default Windows sound at Windows startup. So thanks for that question. And if you have any problems enabling that, just give us a call or send an email to labs, and we can help you with that. So that's the other questions that came in over the last week, Kyron.
Thanks, JP.